if the rest of you can just intro who you're to be and take your seats.
Hello, I'm Kelso Angela.
I'm Colin Floyd. I'm Raul.
I'm Jared Rivera.
So we are General Science, and this is the Bacteria Grad High School Cells presentation.
Okay, so we had some trouble coming with what our experiment was. We wanted it to be something to do with the community that affected us all. And so we tossed around some ideas. We came to bacteria actually in our school because that's a place that we all came to together. It affected us all every day. And we were concerned with the number of school days missed each year. And that was actually 164 million each year. And that's according to the CDC and National Center for Health Statistics. And we came to this our research topic, which is the bacteria concentration in Grade High School, based on sites that we would swab for hotspots and places that aren't as high in concentration. And we would see that. And then also the effectiveness of our school supplies, the cleaning supplies that janitor use, because we know that they do use these supplies, and it's a specific supplies by PPS that they're given. And we wanted to see the effectiveness of that and if there was a better alternative.
Okay, by focusing on these main ideas, we were able to come up with 3 central questions. How are common bacteria transmitted throughout Grant High School? How do they originate, and where can you find the hottest spots? And lastly, what cleaning supplies are being used, and are there more effective cleaners?
So what does this apply to? This applies to the students and staff. They're greatly impacted because they're the ones who are having contact with the surfaces that we're testing for. And so we're wondering if the bacteria that we're finding on our surfaces play a role in sicknesses for students and staff. And however, this requires further research because we can't see the transmission of bacteria to students. And we can't see it to students to staff and students to their families. So this requires a lot of research. And like Colin said, PPS also plays a role in this because they recently changed their disinfectant cleaning supplies as of this year. And so we want to see if they're truly effective on our bacteria petri dishes. And also the custodians also play a role in this because since they're cleaning, since we're checking so many different places around our school, we want to know if the students are truly cleaning what we believe to be the hot spots in our school.
Okay, so for our process, we started by selecting our sites. We had a long list of places and we narrowed it down to about 5. We then found sterile swabs in petri dishes for our experiment and swabbed for the first time as a trial in order to find the best swabbing technique. We went with the zigzag swab technique because it revealed the best results. And then we swabbed our actual locations and incubated the petri dishes for about 7 days. Afterwards, we analyzed our data by calculating the area of the bacteria colonies. Since they're circular in shape, we used the equation pi r squared. We used a ruler, specifically the millimeter side, in order to get the length, specifically the diameter, of the circle, and then that would be we would split that in half to get the radius and just input that into the equation.
Okay, using logic and common knowledge, we created a list of ideas of what to test. After thinking hard about our list and what would have the highest use, we all narrowed our options down to 5 different locations.
So after swabbing the areas and incubating the slides and analyzing their data, we found that there were a variety of bacteria, and although we weren't able to specify this species, for lacking the proper resources, we were able to identify their morphotypes, or basically just classifying them based on looks. And there are a lot of variety in the morphotypes that we grew. That some were smooth and white, some were hairy, some had vein-like structures running through them, some were dark. There was obviously a lot of variety in the microbes that lived around our school. And another interesting thing was some of the colonies would overlap with each other. We're not exactly sure, what the implications of that are, but with further research and data analysis, I'm sure we'll come up with something. And through this project, although we are not done, but we expect that what we'll find is that there is a strong correlation between the frequency of human contact and the variety of bacteria you find and the density. As for so far, the highest density of bacteria has been recorded at one of the most used stairwells on the railing, where people are always touching. So that's our expected results.
Okay, and we're gonna have Grant stay up for just a second, for question and answer. Does anybody have any questions about the project? Questions from Commissioner Raymond?
Beside the stairwell, what were the other forces?
We actually had a stall in the bathroom, in the women's bathroom. There was a little latch, and we swabbed that. We also swabbed our front doors to our school because that's where most people come in. You say it's there was the stairwell,
Yeah.
the rails, and what else did we do?
We did the water fountain. We also did a weight room.
Yeah, there was a bench, and we did the bar. So.
Any other questions?
And actually, I
Oh,
wonder.
we have another question.
You mentioned before that you had 5 places that you narrowed down to, test the bacteria and microbes on. Could you tell us, like, the list of places you had before you narrowed it down to 5 places that you see
Yes, we had a lot.
Would you mind repeating her question? Because we can't hear you back here.
She asked us what our original list was, and there was a lot of places. There was, the boys and girls bathroom on all floors, and there was just door handles in general to the classrooms, and there were the floor. There are some areas where people like to sit down a lot, so we were gonna, which are usually at the top of the stairs, but then we just decided to stairwell since people, during the day, we usually just grab those and usually go up the stairs. So.
One of the big ones we wanted to do, but we actually just decided not to, was there's the hot lunch keypad where you type in your ID to get a lunch, and we wanted to do that, but we decided not to. That was a big thing to try.
Any other questions?
Yes?
So what are your next steps now?
Our next steps are to test. Huh? What was that last part?
Just
All right.
your next steps.
We were going to test the cleaning supplies since that was basically our next half, and so we basically ran data on seeing how many the concentrations and density of bacteria around our areas, and now we just need to test our cleaning supplies, their effectiveness, and see if there are better alternatives.
So if another group of students, say next year, was to pick up this project and carry it in a new direction, what advice would you give them? What kind of things would you like them to explore?
Well, first thing is to get their areas done very quickly so they have more time. Also to just to be fast in their data collection, because a lot of, for example, the keypad, the reason we couldn't do that is that we didn't get down to the lunchroom in time for to actually get to the keypad. It was locked up, so we just had to wing it to say, all right, what else we can do.